I have a problem with my McCulloch lawnmower this morning. It just doesn't seem to want to start. I've done all the normal tests. I have clean fuel in the tank. It's going all the way through to the spark plug, through the carburetor, and the spark plug was a little bit dirty, but I cleaned it and I still can't get it to start. I've got plenty of oil in there, no problem. I'll show you what happens when I pull the starter rope. Doesn't seem to be that much compression, and so anyway, I had a look underneath the lawnmower just to have a look at the blade, and this is what I found. I know I shouldn't really do this by hand, especially by bare hands, but anyway, I can just turn it around like that, and there's hardly any compression. Never been able to do that before. So I think that perhaps it's the valves that are stuck open. Anyway, there's really no compression there. I shouldn't be able to do that. Okay, to get the cover off, I've got 1, 2, 3 screws. Now that those are out, I see there are another 3, and these are 8mm. Nice to work with a drill. To check that I had spark, I took the spark plug out and rested it like that, and then I went into a dark place and pulled the starter rope, and I saw a very nice spark there, so that isn't the problem. Now I'm going to take the valve cover off. In case you don't know, OHV is overhead valve. It's just 1, 2, 3 bolts over there. It is very unfortunate, all that oil coming out. I think I might have to take the whole carburetor off as well, just to give myself some space. No screws here, they're just clipped on. That is absolutely filthy dirty. There are 2 long bolts over here. Looks like these will have to come off as well. Now this linkage is in the way, and to get that off the other side I have to remove the petrol tank, which luckily just slides upwards. So I think I can just put it to one side. Now I can take the bracket off. Here's the gasket on the other side. I'm now going to loosen the rockers so I can get the push rods out. Don't have to take them off completely, just loosen them. And once they're loose, you can just move them to the side. And you can just been taught that you should put these push rods back in exactly the same place where you found them. So that one there is the top. They look exactly the same, top and bottom. So anyway, I'm going to put that one in first, and this is the bottom one, the front of the bottom one, and I'm going to mark bottom. So now I'm in a position to take the cylinder head off. There's just 4 bolts that hold it on, or 10mm. To get the cylinder head off, you've got to be very careful because it's aluminium and it's normally stuck quite tight. So I got a piece of wood and I tapped it very lightly on the back and it just popped off like that. So now you can see the valves over here. Now on the inside you can see that's where the carburetor fitted, so on that side over there. So that is the intake valve, sorry, that is the intake, and there's the intake valve, which is normally bigger than the exhaust valve. That's where the exhaust fits on that side, and sticking out there is the spark plug. It is very dirty, and hopefully this is the cause of it. Maybe the air is escaping there and it's not sealing properly. And if I go to the front of the cylinder head and I go to that valve over there, which is the intake valve, and I press it, you can have a look on that side over there. You can actually see the valve opening and closing. To get the valve out, you first of all have to take a little cap off the top there. Depress the spring and just move it to one side, it comes off. So you depress it and move it that way and it comes off quite easy. And so that I don't get things muddled up, I'm going to put the little cap and the valve spring into the red container, and I'll put the cap and the valve spring from the inlet into that container. Now I can take the valves out to do a bit of cleaning. I cannot get this valve out. It looks like the tip is mushroomed out a little bit. All the way around the side here you can actually see the build-up of carbon, especially on that spot over there. And I think the only way to clean it is probably with some petrol and a fine wire brush or a toothbrush. While I was busy cleaning up around the side here, the valve actually just came out, so maybe there was just some dirt that was keeping it in. Also going to scrape the carbon and soot off the top of the piston. Definitely not supposed to be that color. So as you see, after cleaning, the valve seats are perfectly smooth and shiny. If they were damaged, I'd probably have to get some valve grinding paste, but that's not necessary right now. And the valves themselves are perfectly clean and shiny and unmarked, so I can start putting them back together again. And after cleaning, there's bound to be some more junk inside there, so it's a good idea just to get some carb cleaner. And so now I can put the valves back in position. This is the inlet valve, and I put the spring back on. Keep my finger on the bottom there so I don't push it all the way through. And I can put this little cap on. Finally this little cap. Then the valve spring onto the exhaust valve. And the little cap as well. And now I'm going to be replacing the cylinder head onto the engine. Another cause of bad compression is also the cylinder head gasket and also the rings, but the gasket's fine and I'm just hoping the rings are okay. Now I've just got to tighten the bolts down diagonally. Now I'm going to put the push rods in. This was the one, and that's the side that goes in first. Loosen the rocker so I can just put it over the top of that, and I'll do the same to the bottom one. Now that I've got these rockers in place and I've tightened up those nuts, I can actually just turn the engine a little bit and I can make sure that these work correctly, and the petrol tank will slide into those holes over there at the top, and then the carburetor gets pushed back in position. Put the backing plate of the air filter, and now I just have to put the valve cover back on. The last thing I have to do is just put the covers back on. So I went out into the grass just now, and I'm extremely happy to be able to tell you that I pulled the starter rope only one time and it started immediately. My daughter gave me this for Christmas. It's a little wooden frog. There's a little like baseball bat.